So I spent the morning in the garage moving stuff around to be able to bring my Jeep in here. It's time for a clutch. It's a little overdue, actually. We probably can't see that, can we? 262,000 miles on the original clutch. You ready? See if it just drops right out. Wow. There it goes. It's stubborn. I smell gas. Why do I smell gas? Let's take that right out of there. That's what I I'll show you why I wanted the tape. Because those cups come right off of those U-joints. And there's a lot of little bearings in there. So, I'm going to just wrap that with some tape. And keep it all contained. And we'll fold that tape over a little so that it's easy to get off later. Alright. Now, you want to see down there? I'm going to spin you around the long way. There's a cord underneath you that isn't really cooperating with us. What do you think? Can you see? Oh, we got oil flow. Got a lot of oil in there. I think the tranny's full. Let me get something to catch that. There could be a little bit left. So the exhaust and the cross member are both out. I've also taken the bolts out of the transmission that bolt it to the engine. And I forgot to show you just a simple thing I did just to support the engine. It's just a 2x4 across the fenders and then a chain bolted to the engine. Just so the engine can't go too far back, especially where the tranny was hanging off it for a short while without the cross member. Alright, I'm going to slide under the car and see about pulling that transmission out. Wish me luck. Whew. Finally, it's out. See that? See the roller bearing sitting right in the bottom of it? Am I pointing you in the right spot? Do you see that? That bearing is trashed. Alright, let me go out there now and show you the clutch. See, right there? On all of them. They all have it. Those springs are shot, and what was happening was the clutch was chattering like crazy because the center can wiggle and independently of the disc material. Oh, that was a nightmare to get down. I'm not as strong as I used to be, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna have a break for a while. So I took off the flywheel, and you see what I see?
That's why I bought a rear main seal for it. Even though this thing was not dripping on the ground at all, you can see that rear main seal has been weeping for a while. The inside of the bell housing is all full of oil too. It's all over the starter, all over the back of the oil pan, and all over the back of the flywheel. I'll show you that next. So there's the old flywheel, and you can see that beat up, worn out pilot bearing in there. Well, I went to put the new flywheel on and realized there's no pilot bearing in it. Unfortunately, it's not an in-stock item, so I won't have the pilot bearing until tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to put in the rear main seal and call it a day. Nothing more I can do until that pilot bearing comes in. Alright, we're back on track. Look at that. There's a brand new pilot bearing installed in there. So the old rear main is out and the new one is all installed. I cleaned the back of the engine, got the flange all cleaned off around it. I didn't clean the back of the head yet because I can still reach that later. I just wanted to clean off everything that can't be reached once the transmission's back in. I don't know if we'll be able to see this or not. Let me get that light out of there. That's still a little messy in there. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And there's a little messy here too. Alright, look at that. It's all cleaned off. I cleaned that pan off. I still got to clean the surface of the flywheel, but it's all installed. And the pilot bearing is in there. Alright, I'm going to clean that surface off. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to spin this transmission and clean out the bell housing because it's a little nasty in there. Alright, I'm going to get back to that cleaning and then we'll start doing some more work. Okay, so the clutch is all in now. The bearings are in there. New rear main seal. I remembered to put that shield on. Now I have to go through the hard thing of lifting that heavy transmission up in the air. I'm going to try something different. I don't have a jack tall enough to do this, so I'm going to use my strap underneath those, I don't know what those are, trailing arms. And I'm going to put another one over here on the frame. I can't show you well. Over here somewhere. And I'm going to lift it up as high as I can with the straps. And then I'm going to put a platform on the floor and my jack underneath it. And put it up in. Can you hear that? My buddy on the radio giving me a hard time about my transmission. Alright, I'm going to get back to work here. So I had to get creative. I don't have a big floor jack. So to get the transmission up in the air, I used my trucker straps and attached them to the frame rails. Use the ratcheting strap to ratchet on them, which these are big ones. These are pretty easy to ratchet really heavy loads. So I lifted the transmission up as high as these straps would hold it. And then I laid on the floor underneath the transmission with my knee under the back and my hands on the bell housing. I muscled the thing up, put it into place, and I have 4 bolts in place on there. I connected the shifter back up just because that needs some room. So while the transmission was low, I connected that up. Next I'm going to put the exhaust in place and put the cross member under here. And then start hooking up all the little stuff. Alright, all the little stuff's all hooked back up. Slave cylinder's in, the crank position sensor's in, exhaust is on, the cross member is all bolted in, exhaust is all put back into place and hung up properly back there. Drive shaft's in it. Speedo's hooked back up. Just gotta put some oil in the transmission and I'll be done. Alright, Alright, let's give this clutch a try. Nice smooth shifting everywhere. Forward gears, reverse. Rather than different spots than what I'm used to, which isn't too surprising. The clutch pedal is nice and smooth now. This is nice. So the Jeep clutch is done. All the old parts are here on the floor. As you just saw, I just took it for a test drive. I hear one of my locals being goofy on the radio over there. With the old disc, I'll bring these pieces up to you and let you hear the noises that come out of these. This is the throwout bearing and the clutch disc. Alright, I'm going to get out of shot because I'm going to bring these close. And I'm going to turn that radio down. Listen. Can you hear that? Let me put you on close up so you can see too. These springs are all wasted. Now, the throwout bearing. Can you hear that? Good stuff, huh? It's kind of sad. I had to do this entire job not because the clutch was worn out, because as you can see it's not really worn out. It showed some wear right there, but I had to do the whole job because of the springs on the disc, the pilot bearing, the rear main seal, that was singing nice, and the throwout bearing. There was tons of noise coming out of that transmission because of these parts. Between the disc rattling and this throwout bearing being shot. 262,000 miles. And that disc still looks like that. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm glad my hard work is finally done. I've been putting off that job for a little while. It's finally done. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.